You are listening to the Global Slovakia podcast, sharing Slovakia's untold stories, hidden heritage, and cultural treasures with the world. Today, we journey into a valley where fear once ruled, where courage took shape in legend, and where love transformed into myth and stone. This is Demänov, the Dragon Valley. Long before ski lifts traced the slopes and footsteps echoed on marked trails, Demänovská Valley was feared. The valley was said to be cursed, its jagged rocks clawing at the sky, a roaring stream cutting through stone, caves yawning open like dark mouths. People spoke in hushed voices about what lay beneath. They believed a great treasure slept in the underground corridors, guarded by a six-headed dragon. No one dared enter. Fear was stronger than curiosity. Until one day, curiosity arrived in the shape of a young man. His name was Demänov. The legends say that Demänov was not reckless, but his courage outweighed his fear. He listened closely to the stories passed down by shepherds, and one detail returned again and again. Every Friday morning, the dragon emerged from its cave, tormented by thirst, and drank an entire mountain lake dry. A shepherd warned him that if he were ever to face the beast, he must strike the third head first, the most terrible of all. On Friday morning, Demänov hid beneath a rock above the lake, gripping his heavy mace. When the dragon appeared, steam pouring from its nostrils, Demänov released a massive boulder. It crushed the third head. Before the creature could recover, he struck again and again, until the dragon finally fell. Victorious, Demänov entered the cave and found unimaginable riches, but instead of claiming them, he chose to protect them so that their beauty could belong to all. And so, the story goes, the valley took his name, Demänovská Valley. But there is another legend woven into the stone, softer and sadder. It speaks of love. Demänov loved a young woman named Hanka. Her father, blinded by greed, promised her to a wealthy old merchant instead. Hanka begged him to change his mind, but money mattered more than her happiness. Heartbroken, she fled into the valley, to the white rock where she and Demänov used to meet in secret. There she cried, so deeply, so endlessly, that her tears formed a lake beneath the stone. The water rose until it swallowed her whole. From the cliff above, Demänov watched the woman he loved disappear beneath the surface of her own sorrow. His grief tore through him so violently that he roared into the valley and transformed into a dragon, then turned to stone, forever bound to the land. Some say he guarded the valley from then on, watching over its caves and waters. Beneath the myths, the valley has always drawn people in. Archaeological finds tell us that humans were here as early as the Neolithic period, thousands of years before written history, leaving behind tools, ceramics, traces of fire. Later came Bronze Age and Iron Age cultures, shepherds, woodcutters, miners searching for iron ore. Caves offered shelter, mystery, and eventually obsession. The first written mention of the Demänovská ice cave appears as early as 1299. In the 18th century, scholars like Matthieu Bell described its frozen chambers and strange underground worlds. But the great discoveries came in the 20th century, when explorers pushed deeper, connecting cave after cave through darkness, water, and stone. In 1921, the Demänovská Cave of Liberty was discovered. Later came others. Over decades, speleologists crawled, swam, and squeezed through siphons and narrow passages, proving that these caves were not separate wonders, but one immense underground system. By 1987, the Demänovská Cave Complex became the longest cave system in Slovakia, stretching over 24 kilometers beneath the valley. It is a hidden world, of stalactites like frozen waterfalls, vast halls carved by ancient rivers, and ice formations that glow softly in artificial light. A kingdom worthy of dragons. Above ground, the valley changed too. In Liptov, skiing has lived for more than a century. At the end of the 19th century, the first skis arrived, carried by foresters and postmen who needed them to survive winter. Slowly, skiing became joy rather than necessity. After the Second World War, cable cars began climbing the slopes of Chopak, connecting north and south. The chairs were open, the wind unforgiving, but people rode them anyway, trusting the mountain. Eventually, the old lifts were retired. Too dangerous, too exposed. For years, the stations stood silent, weathered by snow and time. Then someone had an idea. Instead of erasing the past, they would build around it. One former station became the Von Roll restaurant, where old cable car machinery frames the walls, photographs tell stories of early skiing, and history is served alongside food. Outside, a single pillar with a chairlift seat remains, a fragment of another era, now watched over by a small fairy tale figure inviting children to explore. Today, Demänovská Valley is alive in every season. In winter, the resort of Jasná buzzes with skiers carving slopes beneath Chopak. In summer, hikers climb through forests and alpine meadows. Cyclists test their courage on mountain trails. Climbers scale rock faces, and caves breathe out cool air beneath the heat. Some visitors seek adrenaline, others seek silence. But the valley holds them all. Because Demänovská Valley is not only a place of sport, or geology, or legend. It is a place where fear became courage, where grief became myth, where love became dragon and stone and name. A place where underground rivers still move in darkness, and above them, life continues, layered, echoing, enduring. And if you listen closely, somewhere between the wind and the water, you might still hear a dragon breathing. Thank you for listening to the Global Slovakia podcast. Stories like Demänovská Valley remind us that Slovakia is shaped not only by landscapes, but by legends, courage, and the emotions people carried through generations. In 2026, our heritage adventures invite you to explore places like this in person. Valleys where myth meets history, where nature and memory are inseparable, and where stories are felt as much as they are told. To learn more about our summer and autumn heritage tours, visit www.globalslovakia.com. Until next time, thank you for listening, and thank you for keeping Slovakia's stories alive.